Hi there, Nick here from Firefly Studios. I'm here today with our final Soldiers of Warlords unit reveal video. Today we thought we'd give everyone a break from the wild ride that is 2020 by pulling a Christopher Nolan and walking you back in time. By which I mean revealing the final 4 units coming to Stronghold Warlords at launch on January 26th. So far we've revealed a whopping 12 soldiers and 7 siege weapons. So if you missed out on those juicy reveals and our spicy trebuchet memes, be sure to check out our Soldiers of Warlords and Siege Weapons of Stronghold videos here on YouTube. But today it's all about foot soldiers, those virtual brave men and women who will be diving headfirst into battle for you, in each skirmish, battle and castle siege. Unlocked as you play through our 30 mission single player campaign, players will be able to choose from 16 unique soldiers in the final game. Recruited either at the barracks or military academy, soldiers from all 4 regions will be available to choose from when battling it out in skirmish mode and multiplayer. So let's get to it. Here are the final 4 troops coming to Stronghold Warlords at launch. Among the most popular images of feudal Japan, even more so perhaps than the loyal samurai or artful geisha, the ninja is a historical icon with an obvious place in Warlord's roster of troops. With the Stronghold series' history of assassination, wall scaling, and invisibility, I'm honestly surprised it's taken us this long to bring ninjas into the fold. The practice of stationing troops on castle walls, setting up traps, and even hiding your lord has been drilled into players fearful of surprise assassination since 2002. Warlords will once again deliver on this front, albeit with some interesting changes appropriate to the new setting. Heavily reliant on remaining undetected and staying below the radar, the ninja is all about espionage. Weaker than the classic assassin in terms of her regular melee attack, the ninja is more stealth focused, with some fun tweaks to their core abilities. Certain shared skills are still there, of course. For instance, the ninja will run up and dismount walls, in the same way that assassins could use their roped hook to bypass defences. As part of their passive stealth ability, which allows ninjas to remain undetected when socially distanced from other enemies, 2 meters just to be safe, these new units will flash grey when hidden. This effect will quicken when they're close to being detected, and finally show the ninja fully coloured when detected, at which point things get a bit Metal Gear Solid. These new visual cues improve unit control for the player, which is helpful because Warlords ninjas are best used to dive in and out of cover, thanks to a new weapon of theirs. Wait for the ninja's health bar to glint white, and the shurikens will be ready to throw. Attack and they'll throw a handful of the spiky weapons, dealing high damage to a single target before running in for the kill. The ability to deal high damage at range makes the ninja more of a hit and run troop type, when compared to the assassins of old. However, when micromanaged or used in small squads, ninjas are more than capable of taking out several high priority enemy units. This unit is exactly what we were hoping to achieve with Warlords, an interesting spin on old mechanics and gameplay to give players something familiar but fresh. You don't have to look far in popular culture to find examples of warrior monks. From Gordon Liu in the classic 36 Chambers of Shaolin, to tabletop RPGs and even movies starring that guy from American Pie.
Okay, fine. Guess I can't make you get out.
Whether we're talking about the Sohei of feudal Japan, Korean wartime guerrilla fighters, or monks from the Shaolin monastery itself, on which our units are loosely based, there is something undeniably compelling about the premise of a warrior monk. With little more than the robes on his back, our warrior monk is as lightly armoured as they come in Stronghold. Well, I guess he's wearing more than the axe throwers from Stronghold 2, but that's another video.
I live to throw axes.
With no armour, it's a good thing then that the warrior monk is fast on his feet. Capable of dealing high damage quickly, think of the warrior monk as your glass cannon in Warlords. He is purpose-made for surprise attacks, rushing enemy forces, and repelling other specialised units like the Imperial Guardsmen. Aside from his impressive damage output, made possible through rigorous training with his deadly bladed staff, the warrior monk also has a special ability up his sleeve, one that your opponent should be very worried about. When surrounded by 3 or more units, the warrior monk's spin attack will be triggered. So whether you want to clear a path for other units, or just push back the enemy's front line, the monk's ability is excellent for quickly changing the ebb and flow of a battle. When combined with his fast running speed, spin attacks give the monk an amazing ability to escape conflict, knocking back his attackers before retreating to your main army or safely behind nearby castle walls. A well-rounded special unit with specific battlefield applications, the Warrior Monk is a finely honed living weapon. That is, provided you know how to use him and don't just throw him directly at a bunch of siege weapons. I've been watching a lot of David Attenborough recently, and I've come to the simple conclusion that horses are the most incredible creatures. As David will tell you, while certain horses of the Mongolian steppe were only just recently brought back from the brink of extinction, spawning virtual horses in Warlords is thankfully a far simpler affair. In the same way that Imperial foot soldiers require armour, both the Auxiliary and the Imperial Cavalry require stables to train their mighty stallions. Once built, stables will spawn horses continually, with a max of 3 per stable until players recruit horses into their army, at which point new mounts will be prepared. Normally, to increase their production, players would need to construct additional stables. However, in Stronghold Warlords, it should come as little surprise that the horse warlord can come in handy. By boosting your stable's respawn rate, a friendly horse warlord can help pump out mounted units faster than ever before, allowing you to recreate the majestic final moments of Helm's Deep. Bringing our roster of mounted units to 3, not forgetting the Mongolian Horse Archer, the Auxiliary and Imperial Cavalry make mounted combat a much larger part of the core Stronghold gameplay. First up, we have Auxiliary Cavalry. Equipped with light armour, a shield and a lance, auxiliary units are faster moving than their more heavily armoured Imperial counterparts. Dealing decent damage with their lance, which you'll need to forge at the new Lance Workshop, these auxiliary units are the bread and butter of a mounted attack. Able to quickly react and change course, it's generally a good idea to have a few in and amongst more specialised units in case of a counterplay. Think of them as the brave front line in a mounted attack, designed to take the worst of the enemy's defences and allow your more powerful units to plough through and deliver swift justice. Just like the Riders of Rohan at Pedalore Fields. That's right, 2 Lord of the Rings references in 1 minute. Imperial Cavalry, on the other hand, are your heavy riders. Requiring armour and shields to produce, these units are now slower moving but harder hitting. With the ability to charge down enemy units, Imperial Cavalry can quickly deal heavy damage and even knock back weaker troops on contact. As such, they are more suited to breaking enemy lines than their auxiliary counterparts, and serve a different function on the battlefield. Taking the power and defensive capabilities of the Imperial Warrior and sticking them atop an armoured beast that can charge enemies at 25 miles an hour, Imperial Cavalry are a force to be reckoned with. A high armour rating also allows them to survive messy battlefield brawls. With a high damage output and heavy armour, they're likely to be the last horses standing, and might even avoid casualties altogether. Their charge ability can also be used to catch enemies off balance, quickly flank them, or simply charge formations head-on to weaken and displace their front line. However you decide to use them, these new mounted units are both dangerous and surprisingly versatile in the right hands. But again, no charging directly at gunpowder-fueled siege weapons. So there you have it, all 16 soldiers have now been revealed for Stronghold Warlords. While this technically won't be the final controllable units in the game to be revealed, since we still have 3 pieces of siege equipment, you at least now know what the final roster of troop types will look like. With access to all 16 troop types in multiplayer and skirmish mode, this means you can start strategizing immediately. Just remember, my advice, horse archers are your friend. Victory in the final game will mean balancing your powerhouse Imperial troops with some quick-footed tribal fighters, specialised Japanese units, and mounted Mongolian archers. From our days with Stronghold Crusader, we already have a history of mixing Arabic and Crusader troops, so by doubling the number of represented nations, we're looking forward to seeing what player strategies come of it. If you're excited to try out these new units, please do consider wishlisting Stronghold Warlords on Steam. We want Stronghold Warlords to have not only a great launch in January, but a long, healthy life ahead of it on PC, and wishlists help with that immensely. As always, if you liked today's video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe here to Firefly Studios on YouTube for more Stronghold Warlords, Stronghold series, and Romans Age of Caesar goodness every month.